Valley Talk on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
And a very good morning. I'm Dave Adams. Glad you're with us on Valley Talk today. Beautiful day here in the Mid-Willamette Valley. It is a Thursday, the 27th of September, and we're going to have a fun show today. First of all, we're going to be talking about antiques. Gary Kermer was on the program earlier this month, and we brought him back because we had so much fun. That day we had John Gibson in the studio, and we were talking about antiques. Well, we're going to be talking with Gary about antiques once again today. Second half of the show, we are going to be clowning around. Going to be talking to Patty Burchell, and she's been a clown for 30 years. Felicific Faces. Hope I got that right. She'll be in the studios, and we'll have some funny clown stories and just what it's like to be a clown and clown around for 30 years. So you're going to enjoy that here on Valley Talk today. If you have any questions about antiques, you can send me an email during the course of the program, dave@kgal.com, dave@kgal.com, and we will submit that question to Gary and see what we come up with for an answer. Make sure that you sign up for the Quiznos Taste on Us giveaway, and you can simply, on the subject line of an email that you can send to me, dave@kgal.com, simply put Quiznos Taste on Us, or you can call the KGAL studios and ask to be put into the drawing for the KGAL Quiznos Taste on Us Valley Talk $10 gift certificate giveaway. And the phone number there is 541-926-8683, 541-926-8683. And good luck. By the way, we are also asking nonprofits, if you have an event going on, send me an email at dave@kgal.com. We're going to be having a couple that we're going to be talking about today. One of those is one I'm involved in. We are going to be giving hot air balloon rides at Cheadle Lake Park, Saturday, October 6th. And this is a fundraiser for a ministry, the Jesus Network, and they're going to be doing a missions trip to New Zealand, reporting from a youth music festival in Hamilton, New Zealand. This is a fundraiser for that trip. I'm the pastor of the Jesus Network, and we'd like it if you could help us out in that regard. You can give me a call, 541-280-8833, 541-280-8833. Ask to pre-purchase balloon ride tickets or go to our website, www.tjn1.tv. Now, if your nonprofit club has an event going on, we would love to talk about it, maybe even bring you in on the program, and you can send me an email at dave@kgal.com. So, Gary, let's talk about antiques. How you doing, first of all, today?
I'm awesome. Life is good up here. I just love this time of year. The weather is perfect, and I just am enjoying it. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. So what's going on with antiques? What's hot right now?
What's hot right now, man? It's coming back after the economy collapsed in 2008. It seems as though our industry is rebounding, but it's different than it used to be. All the little things that people were collecting, back in the day, and I should clarify that term. In our business, back in the day means before 2008. People were collecting just absolutely everything, and now it's shifted a little bit. And we're finding that high design things, decorative arts, are really a big thing, meaning things that people are decorating their home with. I think it's because the next generation after us, baby boomers, aren't the collectors the baby boomers were. And so they're looking for stuff that's either practical or something that they can feather their nest with and decorate. Is the real strong comeback in this business.
Are people still using antiques as an investment, more so or less so, or where's the trend there?
I think that on the real high end of the market, it's more so. A collector investor, being someone who buys something with the idea that they're going to sell it in, say, 10, 20 years. They're going to hang on to it for a while. And they're going to put their money into that as opposed to putting it into CDs where they're only getting a real low percentage on the return on their money. That market's doing extremely well. That's one of the reasons, in addition to other social reasons, why gold and silver are so high. The people are shifting where they think their things are safe. And so fine art, high-end fine art, really top quality, but it's always in any subject that you're looking at, or any category of antiques, it's always the very, very top of the market. So it could be Native American baskets. Native American arts are real high. The Chinese are collecting the very best of the Chinese arts. All of those, like the gold and silver and high-end jewelry is doing really well. So anything that's really high design. On the other end of it, with where a lot of us live, if we're not investors, and you're looking for your home, the mid here, especially in the Portland area, here on the West Coast, mid-century modern is big, and then anything that has to do with industrial design, rusty metal, I call it, gears and things that looks like it came from a 19th century, early 20th century machine shop. People are cleaning up and hanging on their wall or incorporating it into their homes. It's a big fashion trend right now.
What about Old West type of things, wagon wheels, things like that?
The wagon wheel stuff to a lesser degree. It's more if you want a little. They want the, and it was started by the steampunk movement. Is what really started it. And that term, if you look up that term, it's sort of that what they're interested in is the high technology things of the late 19th century. Not so much the farm things as the high-tech things. So that's why gears and machinery and industrial tables and that sort of thing. And to a lesser extent, the farm tools and wagon wheels and things like that.
What advice would you give for people that are thinking of getting into antiques as collectibles or things like that?
Well, there's a lot of people that are doing it now for a second business. It's always had a lot of interest. We just ran a seminar a few weekends ago up here in Portland with sponsored by the Palmer Wharf people who put on the big expo antique show quarterly at the Portland Expo Center. And we did it on helping people advice on how to get into the business. And my subject that I talked on was on trends and where to research. Here's what you want to do. If you're looking where most of us make a living, where people are making a really good living without the heavy investment of being into the high-end market that we're talking about, that level of investment, is to hit the decorator market. Read, educate yourself, read Country Living magazine, Martha Stewart's magazine, all the, even Architectural Digest to a degree. Look at, see what the trends are. Right now, painted furniture, and it can all be vintage. It doesn't have to be real rare antiques, but things like painted furniture and silver, and it's somewhat of a volatile market because or a fickle market, I should say, not volatile, in that people's tastes seem to change so they can keep selling magazines on the latest trend. But there's the shops, if you go to the antique shops here in the area, the ones that are really making the money and seem to have the people in and out are the ones that are hitting that country decorative market. And but there's a specific look that they're all looking for. And so you can take and it's funny because I don't decorate with it or have it myself, and then I joke about it because it looks like you can take a table and paint it white and drag it behind your car for a few miles and then sell it, and it'll do real well.
Seen a few of those.
A solid Victorian walnut table sitting next to it, and no one looks at it, so I don't get it. But I'm not making the rules here. That's what's hot.
It's weird. What's hot? What seems to be hot one month or 1 year is garbage the next. Yeah,
and that's where the decorator magazines can help. Just kind of guide you, I think that it keeps your best finger on the pulse of it. And then, of course, any other field right now, also anything that has to do with history, old postcards and especially regional history is really hot in the photographs. Photography and old photographs can be a real thing. So if you have a closet full of old photos, and I'm dating back, that can have interest in sales, and things that have to do with travel. People want great things with great graphics on them. So great travel posters or signs, books, and things have really great graphics because graphic designers are really collectors of that, and everybody's now they have. If you have a publisher program on your computer, you're a graphic designer. So.
What about the shows like on the internet? There's been a lot of shows that have increased the popularity of collectibles. Really helped spur on the industry, haven't they?
It really has. I mean, I think it also reflects the interest that people have in it. Those shows are doing really well. For me, how those shows have affected me personally. It's kind of funny in that I get, as an appraiser, I get a lot of calls from people who have been dumpster diving, and because they've seen one too many episodes of Pawn Stars or American Pickers, and feel, you just drive up to any guy's barn and he's not going to know that he has a 1903 Indian motorcycle in the back of the barn. Forgot all about that, and that's all staged for Hollywood. But I'll get people call up and it's just, there is a lot of stuff that's old that's just junk. If no one wants it, put it back in the dumpster. It's broken, But so I get a lot of calls where I have to disappoint people and tell them they didn't find anything great. But overall, it's really, again, spurred a lot of interest in collecting for the next generation coming up. The baby boomers were such huge consumers that it really fueled the business. And now the people who are collecting, they're wanting interesting, one-of-a-kind items. And so all fields of this has grown. And it really, you're right, it really has helped create a business and help build the market for us.
So what makes the difference between junk and what's really collectible? Is it the history? What is it?
That's a hard thing to say. I mean, it's sort of like asking what is art. I think people buy for emotion. I mean, if it's truly, first of all, I should start here instead to answer that question. For the high end of the market, it's about rarity and quality of construction, or particular artist you're looking for, or you have the very first telephone made, or you have the very first sofa designed by a high-end designer or whatever. And that's the investor who wants the very best of things. But for the rest of it, it's somewhat of fashion as to what is in and what isn't, and it just shifts. It's somewhat fickle. And that's, again, keeping up on the market. A few years ago, give you an illustration, I'd say 10, 15 years ago, the manual typewriters, the old black manual typewriters we all remember being in everyone's home, were like boat anchors. You couldn't get rid of one. And now they're becoming a hot collectible, anything like that, the old adding machines, but they have to be manual, not the electric ones, because the kids today don't they don't know they've never lived in a world without a personal computer. And so to them, the idea of these typewriters and adding machines, and remember the ones that you pushed and you had the handle on the side you pulled down and stuff, they think those are just great. So for us, 20 years ago, they were junk, and now today somebody has re-envisioned them as a historical significance, and they want to have them. That was kind of a long-winded, ambiguous answer to your question.
Now, you've got an event coming up in Lebanon. Tell us about that.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be down this Saturday. We'll be doing Saturday morning from 9 to 12. We'll be at the Central Willamette Credit Union on North 5th Street there in Lebanon, 9 to 12 in the morning, doing an antique appraisal clinic. It's like an antiques roadshow. If you bring your things in, I'll be there, and we'll be giving, it'll be a lot of fun. We'll be giving opinions on what you have, what it's worth, how to fix it, where you can market it, or the best ways of marketing it, whether or not Grandma was accurate in what she told you to hang on to, or whether she was, had been on painkillers or something.
Okay.
What she had to say.
Is there a cost to attend?
Yeah, there's a donation of $5 an item, and the money is going to the chamber, I believe, up there in Lebanon.
Okay. Hey, we'll be back with Gary Germer on Valley Talk here in just a moment. If you have any questions, just email them to me here at dave@kgal.com.
When you look out across Willamette Valley, you'll see plenty of banking choices. But we're here to give you an option that's pretty unique, like no other, in fact. Hi, I'm Dave Wood, President and CEO of Willamette Community Bank. We provide an alternative to large national and regional banks by offering customized financial services and local decision-making to benefit local people, local families, and local businesses. How many banks can say that? Willamette Community Bank, service like no other, we promise. Member FDIC.
Halcyon Painting just wrapped up their major outdoor projects of the season, and there's still some nice weather left. You can get your job done by the best. Call Call Halcyon Painting now for your no-obligation proposal. Halcyon provides a complete description of all work to be done in writing, together with a firm price. With Halcyon Painting, every job carries a written warranty. 752-7251. 752-7251.
Halcyon Painting will prove it to you. What makes your paint job better? We do.
Hi, this is Shelley Garrett. The Lebanon Chamber of Commerce is excited to bring you the first annual Antique Appraisal Clinic, Saturday, September 29th at Central Willamette Community Credit Union, 625 5th Street. Everyone has something they've always wondered what the value was. An old picture or a book, jewelry, or furniture. We've invited Gary Germer, one of Portland's leading antique, fine art, and personal property appraisers, to come to Lebanon and appraise your collectibles. Thanks to sponsor Central Willamette Insurance Agency and KGAL AM 920, we'll have refreshments, and not only will the audience be entertained by Gary's appraisals, but the show will also be broadcast live on KGAL. Look around the house and bring the items you'd like appraised. The cost is only $5 for 2 items.
This is Gary Germer. Please join me as we appraise Lebanon's treasures Saturday, September 29th.
The Antique Appraisal Clinic, September 29th from 9 a.m. to noon at Central Willamette Community Credit Union, 625 North 5th, across from Pioneer School in Lebanon.
We're kicking off the season with the best deals of the year. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event. Time to get the most for your money with Ford F-Series. Great power and amazing fuel economy means no compromises. And that's what you get in a truck built Ford Tough. Like Ford F-150. With a powerful and efficient EcoBoost engine, you get the power you want and the economy you need. Or Ford Super Duty with its amazing 6.7-liter Power Stroke turbo diesel. Super Duty's got everything you need to get the job done, and then some. So if you're looking for power, payload, towing, and economy, your local Ford store has got the truck that's right for you. And with Built Ford Tough Truck event deals, there's never been a better time to buy. We're talking big-time savings on a huge selection of America's best-selling trucks. If you're ready for a great deal on a new Ford F-150 or looking to get to work in a new Ford Super Duty, this is your chance to save. So don't miss the Built Ford Tough Truck event going on now at your local Ford store.
The Morning Update, weekday mornings on News Talk 1580, KGAL.
And KGAL, Valley Talk, I'm Dave Adams. So very glad to have you with us today. It's 11:23 on the 27th of September. And Gary Germer, we just played in promo, an advertisement talking about you being in Lebanon. And getting any feedback from the fact you're going to be up here? Or are people calling you in advance saying, hey, I'm going to bring a, grandmother's coffee pot or whatever?
I've had several calls, people wanting to know about the times, and and things like that, and that we've been getting a response that way, but they haven't been telling me specifically on what they were bringing. Well, one lady's bringing a painting that she's inherited from her grandmother, and that's been in the family forever, and so they're just kind of like, she wants to see if it is anything, if they should be hanging on to it, or whether or not they can. What they should do with it. So
now, talking about paintings, is it the person who painted it? Is it the subject matter? What do we need to look at here?
Well, first of all, yeah, I think so. It's a matter of several things. It's a matter of the artist. People collect art, the particular artist. And then once you even have a well-known artist, you got to decide if the subject was his main thing. If a guy was known for painting landscapes, and this was his calling card, and then he happened to do a portrait of his son or of the neighbor or something, the portrait's not going to bring as much as his landscapes will, even though he didn't, because that's not what he was known for. So it can be also the subject matter. Condition means everything. Probably the number one thing I get when it comes to art, though, is identifying what you have, if it's actually a painting or if it's a reproduction, and then deciding if it, on the condition. And there's some condition issues that are real easy to fix and others that aren't, and those are sort of things that we talk about when people are bringing things in. And sometimes it's the frame is worth more than the picture, so that can be the case. But it just depends on a number of factors like that. But the number one thing you're looking at is who the artist was and what sort of a reputation has he built on a secondary market.
What is the most unusual thing that people have brought in for you to check out?
Well, I'd say this year, hands down, the most unusual thing was a mummy.
A mummy?
Yeah.
Where'd that happen at?
She lives out in Sherwood, Oregon, which is southwest of Portland ways. And this had been handed down in her family for a long time, and it was in a box, and so she just thought, we need to check this out. And so I took it to a buddy of mine who is actually a veterinarian, but he had an X-ray machine. And
so this was an animal. Excuse me for interrupting.
No, it was a human, but it looked like a human mummy, small human, but we X-rayed it and saw all the wood and stuffing inside, so it was a fake. And we think it was some sort of a carnival sideshow piece, that it was made to look like a human. But it was really well done. They had used a lot of, some sort of leather on it that looked like it had been skin that had. And so we came up with a carnival idea. It would have been a pretty popular item to sell. There's a whole, again, it's just an unusual, weird. People love the old weird stuff like that they had from carnivals or haunted houses and things like that.
So it was probably somebody's practical joke that all of a sudden became truth to them.
Yeah, or it could have been from an old carnival, traveling carnival, where they had the two-headed lamb and everything else. It's a freak show. That's what I'm after, and it was probably part of that. But,
wow!
Because they'd put a lot of energy into building this thing. That was one of the strange things I've had. We had some. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but we had some porcelain figurines that were just. I thought they were really ugly. These figurines of people and a bear, and I thought they were extremely well made, and yet they were just kind of ugly. And I thought, why would somebody put that much energy into something that's so well made? And so we, and I didn't recognize the mark. We brought them back to the office here and did some research on them. Come to find out, they were from a company called Aulich Porcelain, which was owned by Himmler during World War II, and who was the head of the SS during World War II, and that was his hobby, was his porcelain factory. And
well, that would have been worth something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we ended up, they were all 5 of them were damaged, and we sold them in the 5 figures for people. I can't remember exactly. Somewhere.
Didn't have bullet holes in them, did they? Didn't have bullet holes in them, did they?
No. I think what happened, though, was it was probably something that was liberated during World War II when the soldiers brought back.
Oh, okay.
With them, and then his the story goes, the aunt who had them there had them on the mantle and dusted them and managed to crack each one of them, but they're so rare that they there's a market for them, but it's a narrow market, and they ended up going to Portland, Maine, to a collector in Portland, Maine.
The spoils.
That's one thing that's changed our business, been the internet, to be able to.
Yeah, go ahead.
That has actually really helped the business. And again, for somebody who's thinking of getting into it, there is a lot of research you can do when you have things on the internet, and that gets you a lot of information about the things you have, and also different ways of selling. Other than just eBay. Everybody's heard of eBay, but there's a lot of other antique mall sites and other specialty auctions and stuff. So it really did shrink the world for us, and we can now put stuff out on a world stage quickly.
Is eBay a good way to quantify what an item is worth? People might be throwing things up on eBay or Craigslist and seeing, what does it go for, and gauging it that way?
Yes and no. I kind of think with eBay, first of all, you have to make sure that it's something that's actually sold. Look at their completed auctions if you're researching something, and if it's sold, it'll be written. The price will be written in green, and if it didn't sell, it's written in red. And so I've had people try and say, well, I have this item and it's worth thousands of dollars because I saw it on eBay and it was thousands of dollars. And well, it didn't sell for that. Somebody can ask. They can ask anything they want, for it. But what did it sell for? And then the other thing is you got to understand it's an auction, and it just depends on who's watching at the time. So I would look at it over a period of a few weeks or a few months to see, because you'll see variations in what somebody has paid for that same item that has come up. If it's something can come up several times. So it can give you some information, it can give you some research, but it is extremely volatile on prices. So it can be a guide, but I wouldn't, swear by what it said it's worth on eBay.
So when you come to Lebanon, what can people expect? Do they need to bring things there? Do they need to bring pictures? What can we help you?
Well, they can do it the way. If they ideally bring the item with you, and so we can actually hands-on look at it. I can look for repairs. We can authenticate it. There's certain things you just can't do with a photo that you can do with something in real life. So bring your item on down. If it's a big piece of furniture or something like that, take a series of pictures and print them out. People bring me one, and they bring me their little digital camera, and then they bring their digital camera, and I'm looking at a picture that's 2 inches square, and you can't see any detail. But if you have some pictures of bigger items that there's a little bit bigger picture where I can get an idea what it looks like, absolutely, we can at least point you in the right direction. When it comes to these appraisal things, appraisal events, whether it's on Antiques Roadshow or what I'm doing, or if you go to anyone doing one of these things, it really is somewhat off the top of our head. And it's going to be somewhat of a show and tell. It'll be fun to see what other people have brought, because it'll be a public thing. You can sit, while you're waiting your turn, you get to hear about other people's things. And then also, you'll hear things about not only what it's worth, but also ways of, if it needs some repair or cleaning, ideas on how to do that. We'll give a lot of advice on, if you're looking to market it, where the best market is and how to deal with that. And, who are the best, other resources than just what is it worth and if you're going to sell it. And so there'll be a lot of information. It's a lot of fun, because we get a lot of laughs, because sometimes people stump me. That absolutely happens, because I don't know the value of every item ever made by man off the top of my head. So
you don't know it all?
I just don't know the only one I've ever seen that I've worked with that seemed to know everything is my 13-year-old daughter, and she knows everything. But other than her, I've never met anybody who knows everything. So what I'll do in that case is we'll get some pictures. Everyone gets a good laugh out of stumping the expert, and so I'll get pictures, and then when I come back to the office, I'll do research and then get back in touch with you.
So don't bring mummies to the event in Lebanon.
Well, actually, I know more about mummies than I used to.
Okay. Patty Burchell is in our studio. She's going to be the subject of the next part of the show. And Patty, do you have any questions for Gary? We were kind of sitting here talking about antiques.
Not really. We got a couple things we're going to bring down, and pictures. And one belonged to my mother that hung in her house, and she died in 1943, so I'm curious about that.
Okay. Gary, anything you'd like to leave us with in closing?
Well, other than if people get thinking afterwards and they have a question and they can't make it to the Lebanon event, they can email me at garygermer.com, and we'll try to get back in touch with them as soon as we can. And let's see, what else can I tell you about myself? We're moving our office in Portland here. We'll be in the middle of October. We're moving up to Broadway, right near the Rose Quarter section. So it'll be a lot easier to find than where I'm at right now. So if anybody has something, or in Portland want to stop by and say howdy, I'd love to see them. Okay, well, we're looking forward to bringing you to Lebanon, and you have a great day, and good luck with the antiquing. And folks, hey, who knows, you might have the next Van Gogh, but awesome. Might want to check it out before you put it on eBay and advertise it as such. Absolutely. Gary, you have a great day. Look forward to having you again on Valley Talk. Thank you so much for having me. Take care. Bye-bye. And the program will continue. We're going to be clowning around just a bit here in a moment. By the way, just send me an email, dave@kgal.com. Quiznos Taste on Us on the subject line. And at the end of the show, we're going to be giving away another $10 gift certificate from Quiznos in Albany, next to Novak's and next to the former G.I. Joe's location. And when we come back, we're going to be talking all things clowning. Patty Burchell has been a clown for 32 years. So maybe some funny stories here. And you're not dressed up like a clown today.
No,
you're not
dressed up like a grandma.
You're dressed. You
great grandma.
Well, congratulations. More about clowning here in just a moment on Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams. Program will continue in just a moment.
The Osgood File, sponsored in part by Stamps.com. Save time, trouble, and money by buying and printing your own official U.S. postage using your own computer and printer. In a moment, a special offer just for you. This is Charles Osgood. Do you like cockroaches? I don't know anybody who does. We think of them as vermin when we think of them at all, coming out at night from where they live behind the wall. They know that we don't like them. That's why late at night, they scatter for the corner as soon as we turn on the light. It's hard to see how cockroaches can do us any good, but there are scientists who think one day perhaps they could, as you'll hear after this.
When you go to the post office, you sometimes have to wonder if you're ever going to get anything else done that day.
So skip the trip to the post office and just do what I do. Use Stamps.com. With Stamps.com, you buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter or package using your own computer and printer. Get everything from stamps to shipping labels the instant you need it, 24/7. Then just hand your mail to the mailman. You'll never have to go to the post office again. I know Stamps.com will make your life easier because it's made my life easier. I've been using it at my office for years now. Right now, Stamps.com has a special offer since you listen to the Osgood File. It's a no-risk trial with a $110 bonus that includes a digital scale and up to $55 in free postage, but only if you use my last name, Osgood. So go to Stamps.com, and first thing you do, click on the radio microphone at the top of the home page and type in Osgood, O-S-G-O-O-D. That's Stamps.com, and enter Osgood. Professor Albert Boskert of North Carolina State University believes that man can learn a lot from cockroaches. They've been around for millions of years and are experts at survival. He thinks that one day they'll help in search and rescue operations, using their ability to scuttle in and out of the tiniest crevices. He and his team have attached electrodes to cockroaches' antennae so that they can be steered by remote control.
What we do is we basically simulate some virtual obstacles in front of them in our cockroach experiments by stimulating their antenna. And to avoid those obstacles, they turn right and they turn left.
One day, equipped with miniature cameras or microphones, they might be used to find survivors buried in buildings flattened by an earthquake. Professor Boskert's experiments are controversial. Some people think it's just unethical to control a living thing with a joystick.
Many people may be thinking that we are zapping the insect and it tries to avoid the pain and goes in the other direction. But biologically, there are a lot of research, publications, and evidence out there which suggests that there is no concept of pain in the insect.
That may or may not be true. Maybe it doesn't matter. But no wonder when we flip the light on, the cockroaches all scatter. The Osgood File. Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
Now's your chance to get in on all the hair-raising, action-packed princess fun. Disney on Ice presents Dare to Dream. Watch as Rapunzel lets down her golden hair to tangle with the dashing Flynn Rider and the hilarious Maximus. Go on a mystical adventure through the bayous of Louisiana as Tiana kisses the frog prince Naveen and gets royally jazzed. And become enchanted with Cinderella as she makes her dreams come true. Together for the first time ever, all the Disney princesses you love in a spectacular ice show. Bring your royal family to the ultimate princess event of a lifetime in your hometown. Disney on Ice presents Dare to Dream.
The magic begins at $17 per ticket. Additional fees may apply. See roseporter.com for details. Experience a spectacular Disney adventure at Disney on Ice presents Dare to Dream. Coming to the Rose Garden October 25th through 28th.
When was the last time you checked your tires? With rough weather ahead, you can depend on Kanega Tire Factory to steer you in the right direction during their truckload tire sale. For a limited time, save up to $100 on a set of 4 select Hankook or Nokian tires, and up to $120 in rebates on a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. See there? Kanega Tire always has the right tire, always at the right price, especially during the truckload tire sale. Trust what you love to Kanega Tire Factory, still at the Y in Lebanon.
Less hype, just quality news, sports, and smart talk. From your friends at 1580 KGAL.
This is Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams. It's time to clown around a bit. We normally, radio people have a tendency to be clowns, but usually we don't dress up as clowns. But we do have a lady here in the studios that is Patty Burchell, and she has been a clown for 32 years. Thank you for being with us on Valley Talk today.
You're welcome.
Go ahead and move that microphone a little bit closer to you there.
Okay, there.
Okay. So, why did you start doing clowning, and then what kept you in it?
I lived in Christ, Washington. I was going through a divorce and was raising six kids. 2 of them were gone, but 4 at home. And I went to a wonderful church that had a clown ministry, and I decided that looked like it was fun. And it was for 9th grade through college and up.
So it got you through some difficult times in your life.
So it really, it helped me find out who I was, who I really am.
They say humor is the best medicine, or laughter is the best medicine.
It is.
Do you find that to be the case as you're clowning?
Yeah, when you're doing something silly, and I'm always doing things backwards, which is typical for a clown. But when you can make somebody else laugh, then you're cheering them up. You're bringing their level of energy up, and that's what clowns do.
So, do you like dressing up? Do you like acting silly? Does one go with the other?
First, I had to learn to make a costume and my hair and my makeup, and you wouldn't want to see pictures of my first clown. And
is this it right here?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's my older clown. And
you make a good clown.
And then you have to learn to act like a child. And
Okay.
I did not know how to act like a child because I came from a background where I really didn't have much of a childhood. And because that's what a clown is. They're more of a child. And, they play games and they play tricks and they laugh and fall down and do all, crazy things and stuff like that. And pull things out of hats. And I had to learn to do that. And that was very hard for me.
Why? Just because
I wasn't used to it.
Wasn't used to it.
Yeah.
Where do you apply your trade? Where do you go? Do you have a sign on your car that says "Clown for Hire"?
No, usually just word of mouth now. I face paint down at Pizza King every Friday night. So face painting is my main thing now.
What time?
6 to 8.
Okay.
And I go to churches and I do community events and things like that. And again, mostly face painting. I'll be over at OSU for they're having a Harry Potter Day, the 28th of October, and I'll be face painting there.
What kind of person makes the best clown?
Somebody who's ready to laugh at themselves.
So that's important.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. If you can laugh at yourself doing something silly or something stupid like falling off a chair, which I've done many times, at least stools.
Do you do a lot of physical humor like that?
Not anymore.
Okay, that would hurt.
At the age of 69, you don't do a lot of physical humor. But
did you in the beginning?
Yeah,
okay.
I did quite a bit, but I never could learn to juggle. I was a klutz.
Not a
I
juggler.
took classes in it, and every convention I went to, I'd try to learn how to juggle, and I couldn't.
Just couldn't quite do that.
No.
Okay. So do people sometimes come up to you and say, "I'm thinking of being a clown"? Is there a clown school? Do you have any of those conversations?
We have lots of organizations, and they have conventions where they have classes and stuff. We have Clowns of America International, and there's, not to scare those who don't like clowns, but there's about 3,500 to 4,000 clowns that belong to COAI.
Mm-hmm.
World Clown Association has between 2,500 and 4,000. It depends on who's paid their dues or not. Then we have Clowns Without Borders, which...
What's that?
Okay, I'm going to read what they say.
Sure, go ahead.
They offer laughter to relieve the suffering of all people, especially children, who live in the areas of crises, refuge camps, conflict zones, and territories, and in situations of emergencies. So these clowns will go overseas, to Nigeria, to different areas like that, where they have refugee camps and things like that, and they will go in and they will clown, and they will teach clowning to the kids so that they can have some laughter. And then we have the Red Nose Response, and it was founded to unite and utilize the unique talents of us clowns to educate the public about disaster preparedness and to work in support of the survivors and the families of victims following major natural or man-made catastrophes. And this came into being after Katrina. I think it was after Katrina.
Send in the clowns.
Yeah. And we don't wear our costumes.
What do you do?
We may wear a nose, a little bit of makeup, kind of maybe like a goose makeup. We can hand out stickers, but you got to make sure you have enough.
Yeah.
Maybe noses. You go and you sit on the bed as somebody who's lost their whole family and hold their hand and listen to them.
Do you do funny comedy, tell jokes?
Yeah, you can do it, but usually on something like that, it's a more one-on-one because everything is so chaotic. And so you're there to help it's like when you go into a hospital room, because we have caring clowns that do hospital clowning. And they'll go into the room and their focus is on that person only. And they're there for that person. And so that's what they try to do, is give them some hope, say a prayer with them.
Have you ever done that, clowning for emergency response?
I haven't, no, because I haven't wanted to go away and leave my husband,
Oh. Does that take a special kind of clown?
A caring clown. Yeah, and we have lots of classes in caring clown. You were asking about classes. There used to be a clown college at La Crosse, Wisconsin, and I went there for 2 years and learned from some of the top clowns, and it was awesome. One of my treasured possessions is a picture of me with Lou Jacobs and Mark Anthony that's autographed. And they're both long deceased, and of course they are very well-known clowns. And but they have clown camps all over the country too.
Have you ever been to a clown camp?
Oh yes.
What do they teach you? Makeup?
They teach you makeup and your costume and how to care for them. When I went to the clown camp that first time, my wig was terrible, and they taught me how to take care of my wig. They teach you learn magic, juggling, face painting, balloon twisting, how to be a better clown, how to improve your character. There's classes for how to build your business. There's classes on hospital or caring clowns, to work in hospitals and nursing homes. Church clowning. There's a lot of clowns in churches. And
there's a couple things you mentioned that I would think would be totally the opposite of clowning. Church clowning, caring clowning, and so on and so forth. So have you done church clowning?
That's how I got my start.
Really? So what do you do? I mean, how do you mix the two?
Well, what we did, and most of my kids in my group, we were called Fools for Christ. We were teenagers, high school and college students, and we would take skits, parables, or other skits. We'd take music. We loved to take music and songs and do a skit to them that showed you about God's love and stuff. And I even did a clown skit at my number 3 daughter's wedding.
How did that go over?
Bette Midler's The Rose.
Okay, so you kind of pantomimed.
I did. What I did is, it starts out, like you have a broken heart and all this, go through all this, and then I go out and I collect hearts from the audience and put it in a bag that happens to be laying there. And then I take God's love and put it in. And at the very end, when it says, in the winter becomes the rose or something like that,
right,
I pull out a rose.
Oh.
And instead of giving it to my daughter, my husband was sitting there crying, and so was my grown-up son. I went over and gave it to my husband. He has never let me live that down. But it's a very meaningful
Sounds like fun
for me.
Hey, we are talking to Patty Burchell here today on Valley Talk, KGAL, and we'll be back with more of the show in just a moment.
It's time to lace up your sneakers and take a stride in the 2012 Seroptimus Walk for the Cause Run for a Life on Saturday, October 6th. This year's Grand Marshal is Patrick Ferrari, who starred in The Biggest Loser. Proceeds support the Lynn County Health Department Breast and Cervical Cancer Coalition, Samaritan Evergreen Hospice, and many more. Learn more and register online at sialbany.org for the 2012 Seroptimus International Walk for the Cause Run for a Life event October 6th.
In the nation, trees fall, traffic lights fail, ceilings come down, and brakes lock up. And when the you-know-what hits the fan, Nationwide Insurance hits the ground running. Because you're not just our first priority, you're our only priority. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. Call 1-877-NATIONWIDE today.
Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio, subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval. Guys, you've heard about Ageless Male, the natural supplement that helps boost testosterone levels within normal, healthy ranges. New and improved Ageless Male can help you feel more like you used to in your active life and in your romantic life. Now is the time to try Ageless Male because it's available risk-free. Just call 1-800-478-4616. 1-800-478-4616. 1-800-478-4616.
Gas is so expensive. It's unbelievable. It's like $100 gazillion. Mom says she's had it. My dad got gas. He said a bad word. I told him he could borrow my bike. He said he's gonna get something fuel efficient instead.
Finding the right deal is child's play at Premising Motors. Since 1969, when we opened our doors, we treated people differently, and that's why we help our community and the environment by offering over 10 new GM vehicles that get more than 30 miles per gallon. Just another way to say you're part of the family.
When you need the job done, you want the powerhouse of engineering, reliability, and value that is Kubota. And right now, during Kubota's 40-year strong celebration, you can get 0% APR financing on select new L-Series tractors with reproductive transmissions, including the innovative HST Plus. Go to Kubota.com or see Lynn Benton Tractor in Silverton or Tangent. Kubota is 40 years strong serving the American dream, and Lynn Benton Tractor is still doing business the American way.
Get ready, Albany. If a natural disaster hits our area, you and your family need to be prepared. Join Northwest Natural this Saturday for an event that will help you get ready. Northwest Natural will be joined by the American Red Cross, Albany Police and Fire Departments, Lynn County Medical Reserve Corps, and Oregon Freeze Dry to give away safety items and a free lunch. The first 100 families will receive a free Red Cross emergency kit. It all takes place this Saturday from 11 to 1 at Eleanor Hackelman Park. Join Northwest Natural and your neighbors to get ready, Albany.
Clarity over agreement. Expected from Dennis Prager, weekday mornings at 9 on Smart Talk 1580.
This is Valley Talk, and very interesting conversation here today with Patty Burchell, a clown for 32 years. And what amazing. You always wonder what a clown is thinking when they're coming and performing in front of you and making all the faces and so on and so forth. Now, you started being a clown because of a divorce.
Going through a divorce.
Going through a divorce, so it was a very sad time. So they often say laughter is the best medicine. So that got you through that. Why did you decide to continue doing it?
Because I loved it. I loved making people smile and happy.
Mm-hmm.
And we have, even though a lot of people are afraid of clowns, they will watch me when I'm face painting and stuff, and then they'll come up and get their face painted because they'll say, I'm still afraid of clowns, but I'm not afraid of you. And that makes me feel good.
Why are people afraid of clowns?
I think it's from some of the movies.
Like Batman, the Joker.
The Joker, the killer clowns. I don't know. I've never seen them. So
I've seen them on DVD cases in the store.
Yeah, and they just are terrified of them.
Yeah.
I've had little kids just scream bloody murder,
Because they see you. Is it that maybe they don't know your identity? You're a mystery person.
Well, we're a mystery. It's like Santa Claus. Their reaction to Santa Claus or Easter Bunny even.
Okay. Advice for people that might be thinking of becoming a clown. What would you tell them?
Go on the internet. There's lots of clown alleys around, which is that's what we call organizations, local groups of clowns, and get a hold of WCA or COAI, and there's all sorts of information you can get. Go to classes. We have classes in Portland. I belong to the Rose City Clown Alley. And
do you mentor clowns? Do you take a clown, kind of a budding clown under your wing?
Sometimes I used to, but not so much. I had one that I did, and she became my clown sister, and she was 4 years old. And she was an Auguste clown. And she always picked on me. And when we would do birthday parties and stuff together, we always played off on that I was the more sedate clown because I was white-faced and she was the Auguste, and so...
So there was kind of this clown conflict.
Yeah, she was a little sister.
Ah, okay.
Always picking on her big sister.
Did that play well?
It did. The kids got a big kick out of that.
Because
they related to it.
Yeah, they could relate to that. I think in this day and age when there's so much trouble and conflict in the world, clowning has a real important place, don't you think?
I do. I really do.
Where's your next appearance? Where you're going to be happening next?
Oh, let's see. I'm going to be at the Mennonite, outside Pizza King. I'm going to be at the Mennonite tailgate party, 2nd October.
Okay.
I think, or 3rd. Whatever that Friday is anyway.
All right.
I do that every year.
If anybody wants to talk to you, give the contact information one more time.
Okay, my phone number is 541-990-4269. Or you can get a hold of the Lebanon Chamber of Commerce or Pizza King. And I live in Lebanon. And email address is Quillaby, which is QUILLABEE9 at Comcast.net.
Okay. 32, how much longer are you going to be doing this? 32 years
Until
already.
I die.
Really?
As far as I'm concerned. Or get too shaky to paint faces.
Go out with a smile on your face.
Oh, yeah.
32 years. What was your... Can you remember a time when you had the most fun being a clown?
Not really. There's just been too many times.
It was just fun all the time.
Yeah. It's fun when you go to conventions and you have competition because you're trying to improve your clown self, and so they have competition on makeup and their costumes. There's whiteface category, Auguste, tramp or hobo category, and then now they started the seniors and light Auguste, where we don't wear much makeup. And that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Do you find yourself getting into character when you're, just because something happens and it triggers that and you're not in costume, but you start acting it out?
I did when I was Little Petal.
Little Petal.
But that was my whiteface clown character, my little 7-year-old girl. But now I kept trying to figure out what kind of a character Terrebonne was, because that's my clown name. It's Terrebonne, which is clown language for Terrebonne, which means good earth.
Oh, okay.
And I've never figured out what her character is, and I've decided that her character is me.
Really? It's you coming out?
Me coming out.
Here's to clowning. 32 years on as Paul Harvey would say, 32 years together on the way to forever. You and clowning.
I've clowned everywhere. We used to live in a motorhome and traveled, and I clowned. I did a couple parades in, on the road. We were camp host at Devil's Tower National Monument for 2 summers, and I clowned there and did campfire things so I could, with the ranger, and I would be doing all the bad things, the wrong things to do, and she would have to teach me how to be a good camper.
Oh.
And stuff like that.
We're about ready to end the show here today. Tomorrow is From the Sidelines with Radio Ray. So, Patty, a pleasure to talk to you today.
Thank
Keep
you.
on clowning because, boy, we sure need to smile more and more as we go on. So, if you have something to... you got about 30 seconds here. Any passing thoughts?
Everybody have a beautiful day, and remember you are loved.
And do that.
And wear a big smile.
Wear a big smile. Do something funny today. Do something to
Yes.
make somebody laugh.
I agree.
Okay, Patty. God bless you for what you do, and thanks for being with us on Valley Talk today. That is what goes through the mind of a clown, and we all need to laugh. Don't forget, tomorrow is From the Sidelines with Radio Ray. I'm Dave Adams. You make it a great day.
Serving the Mid-Valley for over 50 years. You're listening to News Talk 1580 KGAL, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis.